talk a little bit about what it was like to be raised at a time when Desert Storm was on TV. And now, when I turn on Newsmax, it looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. So, I'm gonna try out this new path up here. There's a little like walking path up the way here. We're gonna go up there and check it out. I'm trying out some new tech on this one. It's not new, but I don't use it nearly as much as I should. I buy this tech to do this thing, and then it often takes me a year or two to work up to putting it into daily use. So I got the little mic here. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if it's coming through that or not. I can't really see when I go straight through the YouTube app, but it should, as far as I know. We'll check it out on the playback, but it has low noise cancellation on in the Hollyland app. Low noise cancellation, and I have it on gain setting 2. This is for me in the future to figure out if I like that setup or not. But yeah, let's check out this walking path and see how long it is. If it's not very long, we might walk around the hospital a little bit. Missouri Baptist behind me. Been living in there for 5 days. We have to go tomorrow. Pretty excited about that. Hospital bed, but even then, they moved us out of the ICU and into one of the more. We have our own room, which is nice. I think it's largely because they knew what a handful my dad would be. Anybody they put him in there with, it's probably going to be like, why doesn't this guy ever rest? He's just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So good job, Dad. You got your own room out of that one. But yeah, trying to sleep, it's rough. I finally hit a really good, nice, deep sleep. And for me, I try to rise and grind and do all that, you know, where you're like, oh, here it is. Here's my path. I don't have a bike, so yeah, you tell yourself, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. If you've watched this channel long enough, you've seen me try to do that before. It doesn't really work out. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Got a little wooden thing up there. That's kind of interesting. It does look like a bike path. You, ma'am, hell ye, I would need that. Yeah, I feel you. Hey, thanks, Max. Appreciate it. Anyway, I sleep best like from in the morning when I get to sleep in. I don't think my body really goes into a good state of sleep until about 3 in the morning. So if I'm working a 9 to 5 and I sleep, 11 to 6 or 10 to 6 or whatever, I need that weekend to catch back up because it just doesn't quite do it for me. And the room we're in now, it's got where the couch kind of folds out. And, your relative can sleep in there. Had one like that when we had our baby earlier this month in the OB. That was kind of nice. Oh, this little trail is pretty nice. Check it out. Little curvy kind of trail. I think I've walked this before. Or maybe I think it was at a different hospital. These are seeming pretty common now on the outside of the bigger hospitals, which is nice. Get outside a little bit. Hey, what's your life goal right now? What are you going to do when you reach it? My life goal is to catch up on my sleep, get my sleep debt under 10 hours. And then when I reach it, I'm going to feel good and be productive. That's my life goal right now. Because none of my other life goals are going to be possible until I achieve that one. But yeah, they come in at 6:30, woke me up. Dad had to get an x-ray. I had to go stand in the hallway awkwardly. Hey, Kahan, good to see you. Yeah. I don't know exactly where this trail goes, but we're gonna figure it out. We're out here in a town and country, real nice part of St. Louis suburbs. You can tell how nice it is because I wanted to find a laundromat to wash my socks. So I was here for 5 days. I think I brought 4 pairs of socks. I'm down by 1. You know that feeling like when you gotta put on a dirty pair of socks? Ugh. I'm going home tomorrow, but still. Ooh, this is gonna like loop around a little bit. I like it. Okay. And Dad was like, why don't you just go buy some new socks? Dad lived up here in St. Louis for a while, so he kind of knows the seedier parts of town. But you can tell if you're in a real nice part of town, there's no laundromat. Nobody needs one. They probably have 2 in their house. Am I lost? No, not all who wander are lost, sir. No, I'm not lost. Outside of the hospital. That's the thing about the city. You get this little like bit of nature, but then like that's not very naturey. You almost get it. So I wasn't 100% sure on my live today, but I want to keep doing them to get the habit going. So often when it just says Tyler McConnell is live, I'm just going to freestyle it, and then we'll go back and name it based on whatever I talk about. And my big feeling today was that I looked up and my dad's watching Newsmax in the hospital bed. And I realized the TV looks almost exactly like it did when I was a kid. And I'd watch Desert Storm at my grandma's house. And I haven't fully thought through what this means, but I do find it pretty interesting that for a certain generation of people, millennials like me, under 40s, our whole memory is what's going on now is this kind of like tie back into the TV of your youth, a war on TV. And they're reporting it exactly the same. It was, the shot of the deserts. The chyrons look the same. Instead of war in Iraq, it's war in Iran. Literally change one letter, like the meme says. Ooh. Always want to take the path less traveled here. I'm pretty sure it just loops around. But yeah, you got a whole generation in America who this has been our reality. A tie-in from now to childhood of the televised war with the country over there with the 4 letters, Iraq, Iran. Instead of what was his name, Saddam Hussein, it's now Ayatollah Khomeini. I thought I'd get on here and just kind of talk about it a little bit, because I remember being a kid. I remember being, wow, this path might be longer than I think. This is a ways. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, I don't know where to put my little pack here. This is kind of interesting. But yeah, I remember that feeling as a kid of just having the propaganda pumped into your head. I'm right by the highway now. How's that noise cancellation working? Can you hear all that? Or can you hear me pretty good over it? This fence is kind of weird. Don't know how long it's going to be, but it'll be all right. Yeah, I wasn't political at all at age 4. You know, I had no idea what was going on. A little bit of traffic noise, that's not too bad. Thanks, Drift Drags Drive. I appreciate it, man. We got some guy talking about trading. Boy, tomorrow's going to be an interesting trading day. What a time to buy oil, right? It's like buying oil on the Monday after Desert Storm. It'd be interesting to see how it does. I know when I first started getting into trading, you would have these feelings like, oh, that's a shoe-in. That's going to be easy money. But I don't know. It might not be. My very first trade that I ever took was right before Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. I knew Grand Theft Auto 3 had been huge in my generation. You can make friends in junior high, high school, be like, hey man, you want to come over after school? I got Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah, man. Vice City. Oh yeah, man. That's how me and my best friend Dave became friends. So I knew for sure, hey Random Facts 07, I knew for sure when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out it was going to be a hit. So I told my mom, and God bless my mom, she was excited to encourage me to try the stock market. She was always trying to get me into rich people things. The stock market, playing golf. She was big on encouraging me to play golf and be a member of the country club. Smart woman. Oh, this goes around like a neighborhood. Okay. Man, I hope it comes back out by the hospital. But yeah, I got online and I figured out what company owned Grand Theft Auto. And it was Rockstar, of course, but the ticker is not traded under Rockstar. The ticker is traded under Take-Two, TWO, Take-Two Interactive. So I think I bought 5 shares. They were like $25 a piece. This is 2006, 2007-ish, somewhere in there. And they didn't go anywhere because Take-Two Interactive was being threatened to be bought out by Electronic Arts, EA Games, and everybody hated EA Games. I don't think much has changed there. Grand Theft Auto 4 turned out to be a huge hit, but I didn't see the pop immediately after release, and I realized, oh, okay, a successful product does not make a successful stock. That's interesting. That's interesting to see. And thinking back now, that kind of helps me realize that, does this trail loop back to where I was before? I'm not quite sure. Look at that. I have come out in the wellness trail. Okay. Well, here I just have to walk back through the sidewalk. So we're gonna go back this way, I think. See where we come out. Anyway, yeah. Later on in life, the guy that's here, I'm stacking XEC, looking up news. So I'm glad you found me looking up news, man. Yeah, when I got into crypto around about 2016, I remember I bought my first Bitcoin on the day Donald Trump was elected. And real quick, I got involved in the hash wars, the 2017 hash wars. And my XEC brethren, before I forget, I just want to say, my ADD, I bounce all over the place. Before I forget, I read a bunch of stock trading books. Hello, Virgie Pinot channel. Thanks for dropping by, my friend. And I was drawn to Ed Seikota's interview in Market Wizards. Thanks. I'm glad you like it, Virgie. Trend following really resounded with me because at the time I was into Chinese Taoist philosophy and going with the flow in the markets. That is a brand new house. Going with the flow in the markets seemed to make sense to me. I like the idea that everything you need is already in the price. You don't really need to trade on fundamentals because I'd already seen fundamentals fail. Like I told you with the Take-Two Interactive, the Grand Theft Auto trade. So I didn't have much belief in that. When your first trade is a failure, most of them are. But that was one where I was right, but it still wasn't satisfying because you didn't get the pop at the time that should line up with the fundamentals, if that makes sense. But when you trade based on trend following, I like the Ichimoku cloud. Then you know exactly when to get in, you know exactly when to get out, and you're always trading with the trend. And the trend is your friend. But back to crypto. It's all spirals together. Thanks to the Epstein emails, we now realize all of this is connected. It really is. Right when I got in 2016, 2017, fresh out of journalism school, and I noticed that people were censoring the Bitcoin subreddit. And I thought that was super interesting. And I do not like censorship as a Irish Scot American. I don't like people telling me what to do. My hillbilly Kentucky, Missouri roots. And something just smelled off about it. Anybody that was against, okay, just real quick for you guys that don't know, my XEC brethren in here, if you're still in here, you know this very well. But in a blockchain, how expensive the transaction is based on how much block size it takes. So at that time, the Bitcoin block size was 1 megabyte. And I lived through it. In 2017, I saw it with my own eyes. I tried to send some Bitcoin, and the price to send that Bitcoin in my, BitPay wallet was $50, the transaction. $50 transaction fee to send any amount of Bitcoin. And at that time, I realized, okay, there's some deep state actor rigging this. This isn't real. And the Bitcoin Cash arguments made a ton of sense to me. Roger Ver, I've started reading his book on here. I got a little sidetracked with the Epstein book, but we'll eventually get them all done. Oh, I just didn't want to scare you. Oh, no, you're good, man. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, that was nice of him. He gave me a little heads up. Kind of him. I appreciate that. I was telling my dad, I said, well, Dad used to do security around these parts, and he said he talked to another security guy once, and the only thing they ever recognized around here was that sometimes there were early morning joggers going across the parking lot, and I was like, yeah, if you got an early morning jogger, they're probably not that likely to be a criminal. You know what I mean? You got your life pretty together at that point. But we're going to try the other fork in the road here. Let's try going this way and see where we end up. See if it loops back to the hospital part. I like to go for walks and record like this. I don't like to get people on camera if they don't want to be on camera. But man, some people are just mean about it. I remember one of the very first on my channel, it was a Base in the Woods stream. There's this old lady I met in the woods, and she started yelling at me for recording in the woods. I was completely alone for the whole walk. She crossed me on the path. I didn't even record her. I put it kind of down like this. Because I really don't like getting people on here if they don't want to be on here. She still yelled at me. She's like, why are you recording in the woods? The woods are solitary. They're for you. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure you can do all kinds of things in the woods. I'm pretty sure the first city, when they built it, it started out as woods, I would imagine. But some people just haters. I've had other people, I'll have a conversation with them. I'll go away and make a video. Don't name them by name. Just make a video based on what we talked about. No real incriminating information. There's no social security numbers being passed around or nothing. It's just like, hey, we talked about Jimmy Kimmel. And then be like, I got a friend who said this about Jimmy Kimmel. And they'll get so mad. Friendship's been destroyed over that in my life. At that point, I realized that person's not really your friend anyway. If they can't gas you up in your creative work, they weren't your friend in the first place. Never were. And that's a real betrayal if you've known people a long time, but you start trying to build something or shine a little bit, you're going to get that. Haters going to hate. It's all right. Jealousy's a real thing. So just move on. Keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, that was a little bit. How do we get? Let's tie that into XCC, my friend. If you're here chilling out. So what happened was, you had during the Bitcoin size wars of 2017, you had the fork. I think it happened in August 2017, if I remember correctly. If you held some before the fork, you got Bitcoin Cash and you got Bitcoin. And if you were like completely ideological, you sold all your Bitcoin immediately and bought more Bitcoin Cash, if you're a true believer. Unfortunately, at that point, the person on the other side of that trade was Jeffrey Epstein and the Rothschild family. And Brock Pierce and his Tether money printing device. So, that's tough, T-O-U-G-H, not T-U-F-F, as the kids would say. I think we're heading back to the hospital now. Oh yeah, got to take that loop, else you end back out at the street. So for a while, all was right in the world. Bitcoin Cash had 32 megabyte blocks. You could send a transaction for pennies, less than pennies. I think a fraction of a penny. It was integrated into BitPay. You could use it at the store. Still had to wait 10 minutes for a block to clear. I wish BitPay had used just if you see it in the meme pool, they'd accept it, but they didn't. You still had to sit there and wait. Sometimes I'd have to do a couple laps around the store while it cleared on my BitPay debit card. This is why when faster cryptos came out, like Avalanche, I never went back. The fact that you could sell Avalanche and move it to your bank account, and by the time you'd opened up the other app, the money was already there. To me, it's like, this is the one. There's no sense in trading that other one. Although sometimes it'll lag. Like in this last cycle, Bitcoin went way up and the other ones didn't really do a whole lot. But on a fundamental basis, like I said, I mainly just trade the chart because most of the info is in the chart. But on a fundamental basis, obviously that one's going to win, you know. Like the Mac-based silicon computers that are so fast, the M1 is still a really good buy 6 years later, and they make no heat and no noise. Well, that one's going to beat those, you know, noisy Windows laptops in the long run, absolutely. And that's really smart of Apple, proprietary silicon. I wish it was open source, but what a thing to develop. Anyway, all that to say, so we're back. We're back in Iran-Iraq mode. 4 years old, I had no idea what was going on. I was just downloading all that into my brain. Desert Storm was being pushed in there. Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky was being pushed in there. O.J. Simpson, the white Bronco, was being pushed in there. MTV was being pushed in there. Nickelodeon was being pushed in there. What? Some of the best capitalist propaganda ever made was on Nickelodeon. Being pushed into kids' heads. Have a good one, man. Whew. Do you remember those ones where they you had like a set amount of time to put as many toys in your cart as possible? I realized that one was just straight capitalist programming. We're gonna go this way. We're back at the entrance here. This interesting kind of thing on the windows there. We're gonna go this way. Yeah, you got like 1 minute to put as many toys in the cart as possible. And they're like, just put this feverish consumerism in the early 90s kids. The Super Soaker 50 era. I look back now and I just see, man, that was some fall of the Soviet Union, just runaway propaganda there. And it's weird to think the Nickelodeon guy was connected to Jeffrey Epstein. It's all connected. Jeffrey Epstein was instrumental in cutting off Bitcoin from being a world currency and instead making it a store of value product, which is virtually useless. Only you just buy gold. Really, the only thing that makes sense to me of BTC is if you're somehow going to like flee the country and you want to pick up your money in whatever country you land in. That appears to be the only credible use of Bitcoin BTC at this point for Bitcoin maxis. And if you're not super wealthy already, then what's the point of that cryptocurrency? Anyway, to finish up that line of thought, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin split. Bitcoin Cash changed the block size to 32 megabytes. So you can see it on the, like if you look up the visualizer transaction street, you can see the Bitcoin Cash bus is this huge long bus that you can get on, and the fees are a fraction of a cent. And then the Bitcoin bus is this little tiny 1 megabyte bus with this Segwit trailer attached to it. And the fees are usually $2-3. Ethereum's done a really good job. They've gotten their fees down to, it seems around like 40 cents, something like that, which is good because those fees used to be very expensive. But then there was a little bit of a Bitcoin Cash war. And I remember this argument really heating up in around 2020 because I remember being in the hospital when my second daughter was born. I remember these stories based on when I was in the hospital. And Amari Sachet, the guy that had developed Bitcoin Cash, he started saying, you know, there's no money coming in to develop Bitcoin Cash. You guys want us to develop this for free, and we need like a developer fund. 10% of the block reward needs to come to the developers, so we can't be bought off, and we're incentivized to keep working on this currency. And that became XEC. For a while it was BCHA, which stood for BCH, Bitcoin Cash ABC, because that was Amari's development team, Bitcoin ABC. And yeah, I mean, I'll always take a look. They eventually renamed that coin XEC for eCash. Always take a look at it, always interested in it. I kind of fell off from using it so much because it's just not integrated in many, like, I don't know, is it how fast it is to settle? I need to go back and check, because I know they implemented Avalanche, so it may be very fast to settle. But Avalanche just fulfilled all my needs, so I started using that one. And but there were a few times when Avalanche was getting hung up, and that's why I got interested in Monad. Solana, which switched everything from the EVM, I was like, people are going to want to stick with the EVM because they like that feeling of like, I can use all these different chains on one address. And Monad just appears to be Solana with the EVM, so that's where my focus is, at least in coins that I think have explosive growth. I mean, when they all go, they'll all go. XEC will pop. Monad will pop. I really like Tari, Fluffy Ponies, Monero type project. Very interesting. JD Guzman V. Brother, when are you going to finish reading the trading game? I'm not quite sure. I'm focusing on the Epstein one right now, but I will finish it. Probably in the summer when I have more time and I don't have to teach school all the time. Ooh, that's cool. Little circle there. Yeah, I'll probably finish that one up, and the Roger Ver Bitcoin book, and then go back to finishing Epstein. I got to go back and finish Michael Hudson. I have I promised myself I won't start any new ones until I finish the ones that I'm working on, but it does take a while. I mean, trading game will take me probably about 13, 14 hours. Epstein one will take me probably 60, 70 hours. But yeah, I'm just working class teacher dad, doing things. Sometimes I got to take off for 5 days and take care of my pop, so he gets heart surgery. And getting this little walk-in around outside the hospital, it's about the best I'm gonna do on the YouTubes. I promised Frank, I put up Frank Barnett's video that I would edit some of his videos and get them up, but man, it is just not fun to edit in a hospital room. That is not, on a laptop, is not a fun way to do it. So I told him I have spent a lot more time helping my dad. Oh, I will, JD, I promise you. I'll bump it up in the priority, man, since I know it's important to you. Okay? All right, walking back down the path. I don't know if I'm gonna try a CD laundromat. I think I may just push through one more day, get one more day out of these old jeans. I think I do have one clean pair of underwear. The socks, we're gonna have to get creative. I might just raw dog the Crocs, as the high school students say. And then they're always like, ew, you're supposed to wear socks with your Crocs. Really? My generation, it was gross to wear socks with sandals. We thought you were like somebody's dad. But how things change, I guess, you know? All right, to wrap this up, go back through it. when I was a kid, Desert Storm was on TV. I was not political. It was just all being pumped in with the OJ trial and the Clinton and the, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That's all being pumped into my young mind. I remember being about 16, 17. I wanted to understand politics, but I did not understand it. The Robert N. Cohn Memorial Labyrinth. I'm just gonna hope this is for the Baptists and not the Epstein crew. I'll take a seat on this for a second. Oh, all right. But yeah, I had no idea where to begin. I didn't understand it. I will keep it up, JD. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Everybody I knew was a Republican. So in a rural community, when you want to rebel politically, what do? You start looking into the Democratic Party, which I now refer to as the Demon Rat Party. After I lived through what they did to Bernie Sanders and the disappointment of Obama. Trump is just Obama. He's the conservative Obama. It's really what he is. Well, this is kind of cool. But yeah, now it's happening again. 38 this time. Got a lot more political knowledge under my belt. Read a few fine leather-bound books by names like Marx and Engels. I'm not going to pretend Mao is in a fine leather-bound book, because he's not. He's always in some, at least in America, some ultra-cheap red book copy. There's an audiobook of that on here, too, I need to finish. I started too many. Let's loop around the labyrinth. Woo! Get lost in the brick labyrinth. A nurse who fixed broken hearts. Well, how sweet. That's what you want from nurses. It is pretty nice. It's nice for March 1st. Beware the Ides of March. We're not there yet. That'll be a little time off in the future. I think I went that way already. I don't know which one of these paths to take, though. That looks like it just goes back to the parking lot. Yeah. So we're gonna go up here. I'll be interested to see how the, right now it's 4:22 p.m. here. 4:22 p.m. Gotta head off and get some Chick-fil-A. I've been rotating Chick-fil-A, Chipotle. It's been my good meal for the day. Some McDonald's breakfast. A little milkshake. I had a Culver's milkshake last night. It's 3:53 a.m. Where are you at, brother? What country is that? Anyway, all that to say, the millennial generation that was programmed on Desert Storm came of political consciousness during the second Iraq war, and now they're on pretty much Iraq war number 3, Iran version. Third time's a charm. Americans under 40, we're on to you this time. We don't watch cable TV. We don't watch Newsmax. Newsmax celebrates it all. I asked Dad, I go, you're watching Newsmax, dude. Have they mentioned the 3 American soldiers that died today? No, it's just footage of bombs being dropped on elementary schools over and over. That's Newsmax. That's boomer media. But there's way more of us youngins than there are of you guys at this point. Gonna be more every day. The boomers got all the nice real estate, and the millennials got the shaft. The boomers got the gold mine, the millennials got the shaft, as the old country divorce song goes. But it's okay. As a commie, Hey, you couldn't ask for better political conditions than that. An entire overeducated generation deprived of their rightful inheritance, at least a home in which to raise their families. Boy, the boomer Epstein class has really set us up for success. I appreciate it. Count my blessings. I'd rather have a poor, difficult, meaningful life than a rich, spoiled, meaningless life. That's a good way to say it. I'd rather have a poor, difficult, meaningful life than a rich, spoiled, meaningless life. This has been a moment of separation between me and some of my liberal friends. I don't know. I'll be honest. I kind of feel bad for my liberal friends. I feel like they haven't read enough. They don't understand enough. They're kind of normies. They're normies with a foot in. They just want to be different than the people around them in a rural America. And to me, that's not lower and deeper to the masses. They don't really understand what's going on, and they really don't have any interest in understanding it. I know what I believe, and screw you. You're probably a Trumper. It's like, no, I'm a communist. I'm not a Trumper. But they can't. Well, that doesn't fit in one of my boxes. That doesn't fit in what the New Yorker told me. You're either for Trump or you're for Kamala Harris. I'm catching up on streams, so let's see. My rule is an 8-minute stream counts as a daily stream. So I'm at 42 minutes and 37 seconds. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. At 48 minutes, I'll get 6 streams in, and I can catch back up on my streak. I'll probably have to do maybe one more hour-long stream. I'm interested to see how the battery held up with this thing. I don't know if you can see it on the... Nah. I gotta use a little dongle because my Hollyland, it's a Hollyland C1 is what this thing is, if you're curious. And it's made for the Thunderbolt port. I think I bought it when I had an iPhone 13. Should just buy the new one and sell this one, because although this little dongle's not too hard to, I just wrap it around behind my phone and kind of hold it up with my pinky. It works fine. But yeah, I'm glad. Thank you guys for dropping by and checking these out. My wife was encouraging me. She's like, you really need to do just daily political streams because, you got a unique perspective on stuff, and you put things in a way that it's easy to understand, and that meant a lot. It's good to have a supportive spouse, man. You can't beat that. You cannot put a $sign on that. I'm a very blessed man. She's gorgeous, has great morals, and super supportive. So, what more could you ask for? I ain't never messing that one up. All right. Well, I think we about got it. This will work out just about perfect. I'll get back to the car right as we're coming up on 48. Count a 6-stream catch up. Let's see if this is worth it. I kind of feel like it probably would. It would have been a lot of breezy moments with the mic today. And very loud next to the highway. So I think this might be worth the extra couple minutes it takes to set it up. I kind of like how the app it remembers your last settings, so you don't have to twiddle with it every time. Although, that's one of those things that I don't know if you could trust. I could see you doing a big, long stream, and then because you didn't double check it, it messed up your audio. I don't know. It might just be the anxiety talking. Probably be okay. Oh, man. I'm ready for summertime. How about you guys? I'm about done with this winter. Been wearing this Yashanka a lot, mainly just because I'm not good at having long hair. My hair like blows and gets in my eyes, and I'm kind of just hiding it underneath it. But for once in my life, I wanted hair down to like about right here. So maybe another 3 or 4 inches. Then I'm gonna go back to my old, barbershop window icon hairstyle that I liked a lot. I see the old videos. I'm like, hey man, you look pretty good on there. Let me go back to that. But I want to have, just once in my life, have my hair long. Kurt Cobain long. Rest in peace. What do you guys think? Do you think Kurt did it? You think they knocked him off? You think the Epstein class knocked him off? Kind of on the Epstein class knocked him off. Especially judging by Dave Grohl's recent behavior with his wife. That wasn't very nice. He seems to be a little bit in the club, perhaps. I don't know much about the bass player, dude. I don't know what it's like, but... Oh, yeah, we did it. We back in the car. Dad was asking me, he's like, what highway were you on, son? Was it 143? And I was like, Dad, I don't know. I'm addicted to the GPS. I type in Chick-fil-A, hit go. Like a good revolutionary going to Chick-fil-A. Christian. I don't know if I told you guys once. So last time I was at Chick-fil-A, there was a black guy out back wearing a giant Christian shirt, and he had a Bible, and he had his headphones in, and he was like, I've written raps before. That dude was writing raps. And he went to Chick-fil-A so the Lord would inspire him for some great Christian hip-hop. I love Christian hip-hop. It's gotten to the point where it sounds exactly like Lil Wayne, but the lyrics are like, I'm shining on my Sunday, shining in my Sunday clothes. Good stuff. We made it to 48. I love you guys. God bless you. Thanks for the prayers for Dad. He had lots of prayers going up for him, and it worked. Man, he is spry. He's up and moving, having a good old time, and I think everybody praying for him helped a lot of positive vibes his way. So, that is good. I like this hospital, Missouri Baptist. Got stickers everywhere, ask Jesus to help. And then no smoking signs. There you go. I can't help it. I'm just on fire, What am I going to do? Anyway, it will be interesting to see how this goes. 49 is my favorite number. 7 times 7, says Jesus.